Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Tom. Welcome back to a brand new video, and this is part number 15 of my F1 2012 Schumacher Comeback Career. As you can see, we're here in Malaysia for the second round of the championship, and Michael currently right now is in practice setting a couple of laps. And if you guys remember last time out, Michael had a pretty damn solid race. The Australian Grand Prix was an absolute mad one, and Michael came home. Spoiler alert, before I say it, I'm just going to leave a link in the description, guys. You can go check out the first race if you haven't seen it already. But there's going to be a spoiler coming up in about 3 seconds, so... In the Australian Grand Prix, Michael actually got the full 25 points and won the race. So an absolutely incredible race there in some mixed conditions, with the dry race starting and then going into the wet right at the end there. And it was just overall just an incredible race. And as you see right now, Michael is currently in practice in Malaysia. You can see he's stumbling into some traffic here on his lap, which is kind of putting him off, but he's going to continue on nonetheless with the lap. And he's currently fastest in the first practice. So well, not the first practice, I think it's just a one practice session, but either way, he's still fastest on this slower hard tyre, which is the grey one, not the orange one that we're accustomed to seeing nowadays in 2015. This obviously was the first season with the hard tyres with Pirelli, and they were the horrible looking grey colour tyres. And Michael did end the practice session in first place, so some really good pace here from the Mercedes in Malaysia, and Michael's feeling really confident that he can carry this pace into the race. So Michael really wants to continue his form from last time out in Australia, where he got 25 points. So we're going to see how Michael gets on in the race to see if he can try and win the Malaysian Grand Prix. So here we are, then it is race day at Malaysia, and as you see there is no chance of rain, which is quite interesting because obviously in this track at Malaysia everyone knows when it rains here it absolutely pours. And I'm just going to quickly leave you guys with the setup. I'm just going to hover over it real quick so you guys can see what Michael is going to be using for this race, but this is not the main point. We're going to look at strategy real quick because this is important. It is a one-stop race around here. The tyres are very obviously they're quite hard with the medium and hard tyre compounds, so they're generally not going to wear too much, which is good for the rest of the experience. It's going to be a one-stop, so all the action is going to be happening on the track. And I'm just looking at the grid real quick there. Vettel is on pole position with Rosberg in a pretty solid 5th place, but nonetheless this is the Malaysia Grand Prix, and we're going to jump straight into the race and see how Michael gets on in the second round of the 2012 World Championship. So here we are then, we are on the grid for the race here in Malaysia, and as you can see Michael's starting from the back as per usual, starting on the medium tyre, not on the hard, and he's going to see if he can try and use the harder tyre later on and go long. But we're going to get to 5 red lights, and the Malaysian Grand Prix is underway, and Michael gets a really good start here. As you can see, already overtaken the HRT, using plenty of curves straight off the line to try and overtake some cars as he goes down the middle, approaching turn number 1, overtaking Timo Glock on the left there, and now De La Rosa is on the right, and Michael's just going to try and slow his car up the inside, and just try and stay out of contact as realistic damage is enabled, guys, don't forget. So we've got to watch out for any front wings that may come our way. But just going for turn number 2 now. Michael still kept his car in one piece. As you see, he's taken a couple more cars and he's got himself up into P18, overtaking Daniel Ricciardo there, and he's now going to try and go to the outside, trying to take Vern and Michael over in contact, and Michael's going to lose, and then playing his front wing on the left hand side there. So Michael's going to have to watch out for that. The AR broke stupidly early for some reason on the straight, and there seems to be all kind of shenanigans going on up ahead, and I think someone might have lost it front wing because everyone's going so slow, and Michael's just going to try and go clean around the outside of every single one of them cars and gain a bunch of positions, and he's got himself up into P13 there straight off the bat, and Michael's now on the back of Paul di Resta. So also a really good start to the race, gaining 11 positions already, and we're not even halfway into the lap. So a really nice start to the race there from Michael Schumacher, and it looks like he's got a little bit of damage to his front wing, just like he had at Australia. His front left end plate I think has taken a bit of a hit, so Michael might be struggling with that for a little bit in this first stint, and there's been more contact up ahead. Someone else lost the front wing. Who is it? And it looks like it's a Sauber. I think it's Kobayashi up there, or Perez. I think it's Perez. So Perez has lost his front wing, and Michael's trying to make his way past the slow stricken Sauber. He does make the move, I guess, himself up at a P10 there, but Michael, it seems to be really struggling with this lack of front wing, and Trey just losing a lot of time. He's come started in the P10, which is good, but the leaders, you look at the mini lap, they're so far away already. So Michael's got a lot of work to do this race to try and catch up to the front pack as Michael goes to the outside and passes Nico Hulkenberg nice and easily into turn number 1 on the start of lap number 2. skipping later on in the race, and as you see, Michael is currently trying to put his foot down and try and gain a little bit of time on those ahead of him. And there's been more contact there. I think there's a bit of debris on the road there. I can't tell whose front wing that was, but as you can see, there's some kind of overtaking going up ahead, and it looks like Rosberg is dropping positions and he's going really slow down the straight, so he must have lost his front wing, and indeed he has. So Rosberg has lost his front wing there, and we're going to overtake our teammate, and Michael's going to get himself up in the P8 there. So a nice move from Michael that just capitalised on the fact that Rosberg lost his front wing, so there must have been some kind of altercation there in front of us in that final corner. But Michael's down the back of Schumacher Comeback Career. There's a couple of cars here possibly for Michael to overtake, so there's a couple of positions up for grabs, which is good news for Michael. And then here we are on the back of Kobayashi. Can Michael possibly line up for a move? He's going to try and go to the outside, and is he going to make the move stick? Yes, he does. And what a lovely move from Michael Schumacher here, but he's on the back of Lewis Hamilton now, who's come out of the corner really slow there, and Michael tries to go up the inside, but thinks better of it, and he's going to try and overtake Lewis Hamilton elsewhere. And Lewis Hamilton, very disappointing 6th place so far this race. I think he did start in 2nd place if I'm not mistaken, so he's had a pretty poor start to the race. And go through turn 7 and 8, going to turn number 9 and the hairpin. Michael's at the back of Hamilton, and Lewis goes defensive really early, which allows Michael to try and get a nice little cutback on him through the hairpin, getting much better traction on the exit of the corner. And Michael's going to see if he can try and pass Hamilton around the outside. It's going to be a really tight move that makes it stick, and he's going to go for it, but Hamilton is still there on the inside. Side by side stuff here, absolutely incredible racing so far from these two, and Michael is going to go up the inside and take the position for P6 there off of Lewis Hamilton. And a nice bit of sideways side by side action there through a couple of corners, which is nice to see. And now Michael's up into P6. He's going to try and hunt down Pastor Maldonado, who is in his Williams. And as you skip later on to midway lap 7, and Michael's on the back of Pastor Maldonado. Maldonado, just like Lewis Hamilton, goes defensive really early, and Michael gets a beautiful cutback on him, and then cuts back once again, turning right. And you can see that's going to allow Michael to go up the inside cleanly, and that was an absolutely perfect cutback. If you guys love that, please give a like just for that cutback alone. That was absolutely perfect. If you guys are watching up to this point, then leave hashtag perfect cutback in the comments down below. And as you see, skipping later on to lap number 8, Michael's lost his front wing. So Michael has lost his front wing on the bollard there. That's the realistic damage, paying the price for Michael. And in a solid 5th place that Michael was in, he's going to have to come in for an early pit stop. And there was discussions going on the radio with the team on what tyre to go on and what strategy to go for. But it looks like they've decided to go to the end on this set of tyres, because it's only about 3 laps until the pit stop anyway. So the team decided they're going to put on this set of prime tyres and hope that Michael can drive fast yet efficient on this tyre to not wear it out and have some good pace, to see if he can try and take it to the end and somehow put off some mass undercut on the cars ahead of him, because obviously he's going to be on fresh tyres. So we're going to see how this pans out. But obviously if the strategy doesn't work, then there's always a plan B, and Michael can pit for a set of medium tyres and just go for the faster route later on in the race. But you can see skipping later on in the race now, and Alonso sets a 1 minute 40.987, a fast lap of the race, and that is actually quite a ridiculous lap time on some more medium tyres. And then quickly after that, Lewis Hamilton responds with a 1:40.2, an incredible lap time there from Lewis Hamilton. And at this point now, the team were really urging Michael to try and see if we can try and match, if not beat and improve them lap times, because those lap times are absolutely ridiculous. And Michael did just as you can see. Michael crosses the line and sets a 1:40.1 on his first proper time lapse. He's getting onto them hard tyres, and Michael's just absolutely on it. As you can see on the second lap, he goes on a 1:39.7, and Michael is just banging in fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap, and Michael is just on an absolute mission right now to try and make this strategy work. And as you see, another lap goes and Michael sets another fastest lap of 39.2, a ridiculous lap time there. And there's a couple of cars in the pit which promotes Michael back up into P7 there, and Michael's really making this prime tyre work. Somehow he's managed to switch it on as he sets a 1 minute 39 flat, and he is just keep on just doing this exact same lap times. And there's Lewis Hamilton, I think, on the right hand side, so he's managed to overtake Hamilton, which is crucial considering that front wing loss. So Michael really has made up some ground, and once most of the cars have pit, Michael's on the back of Sebastian Vettel now for P3. Can Michael make this move for the podium position? He looks up a little bit into the hairpin, but gets a lovely little cutback on Sebastian Vettel, and he's going to go clean around the outside of his younger German. And what an overtake that was. I don't know what cutback that was better. I don't know what cutback was better, that one or the one Michael did on Maldonado a few laps ago. Let me know in the comments down below what one you prefer, guys. But skip later on to lap 16, and Michael sits at 38.6, and Felipe Massa's in the pit lane, which promotes Michael into 2nd place, and Michael's in the back of Fernando Alonso for a race winning position. So an absolutely incredible turn of events here at Malaysia. Michael really making this prime tyre work, and he's putting right in the mix for a race win here. As you see, Michael's in the back of Alonso. Alonso goes defensive at the hairpin once again. Michael's going to try and go around the outside, but Alonso closes the gap there for the time being, and Michael's going to have to try and find a gap elsewhere. But this is the battle that we've all been waiting for, and Alonso last time had a really poor race, so this is the sort of race where he wants to get some points back in the championship. And here goes Michael Schumacher. He's going to try and line up Alonso for a movement. Is he going to go up the inside here this corner? Yes, he is. That is so close. Michael almost lost his front wing once again, but he managed to make the move stick and got himself up into the lead of the race in the Malaysian Grand Prix. So what an incredible overtake there from Michael Schumacher, and what an absolutely incredible stint thus far. But skipping later on into lap 19, Alonso is going to come back on Michael with DRS here, and he absolutely flies past him way before turn 1. So Michael just a sitting duck there, and Alonso just used the DRS to get past the German. And Michael Schumacher's DRS has actually gone offline, so this is actually going to compromise Michael Schumacher quite a bit if he does manage to get into a DRS position on the back of Fernando Alonso. But it was at this point in the race where Michael's tyres really did start to just really give way, as Michael's going to try and dial up the inside of Alonso to turn 4, but runs incredibly deep into the corner, and Alonso did not really overtake him. So Michael, what he's going to do is, I think he's going to try and give the place back, because obviously Michael did complete the move outside of the white lines, which is illegal. So Michael is going to give the place back, and there it is. There's the place. He's given it back to Alonso, but he's immediately got back up to speed, because Vettel is right on the back of Michael and Alonso. So Vettel's also trying to get in on this scrap. So it's a three-way scrap for the race win here at Malaysia, and Michael's going to see if he can try and overtake Alonso and try and make the race strategy win. But as you can see, Michael was right on the back of Alonso, but because of the DRS that's being offline, Michael can't make the move on Alonso. So Michael can only do so much and just wait in the sim stream until the DRS comes back online. Now going to lap 20, so there's only a few more laps left to go to make the move stick before the end of the race. And as you see, just looking at the tyres, Michael's tyres are really starting to take a bit of a hammering now, and it's been an altercation with Carter Khan, as you can see. Carter Khan going really slow. Michael's passed Alonso for the lead of the race, but now Carter Khan's going into the bollard, and he's lost his front left, and Michael's going to get collected by Carter Khan. And Michael's been forced out wide onto the gravel and the grass, and he's lost so many positions, and Michael's trying to get back onto the track, and Grosjean also gets past there. So an absolutely incredible altercation there. Just Carter Khan just getting in the way under the blue flags, and just causing absolute palaver. And I think Alonso, there you can see him just go to the pit lane there. I think he lost his front wing, and Michael took another hit on the front wing, this time losing his front right end plate, and overall Narayan Carter Khan ruining what could have been an absolutely incredible battle for the race win. But nevertheless, skipping all the way on to the final lap of the race, Sebastian Vettel wins the Malaysian Grand Prix, and Michael Schumacher is going to come home for a pretty solid 4th place, considering all the shenanigans that went on this race. And I think Michael and the team will be happy with 4th place, so that's a pretty good all-round result for the team, and I think they'll just generally be happy with that. And Michael, I think, did take the first lap of the race with a 38.6, so overall a solid result from Michael Schumacher there. And I'm looking at the final race results. Sebastian Vettel, like I said, wins the race with Jenson Button in 2nd place, and Romain Grosjean running off the podium positions, with Michael Schumacher in 4th, Lewis Hamilton 5th, Kamui Kobayashi in 6th, Matsui 7th, Maldonado 8th, Alonso way down in 9th place, and then Nico Hülkenberg running off the top 10. And looking at driver standings, Michael Schumacher is still top of the championship by 9 points over Jenson Button. And that's really good for the championship, considering Michael's poor race here today. He still got 4th, which kept him well in front in the Drivers' Championship. And just looking now quickly onto the Constructors' Championship, because obviously now with 2 races in, we can now look at this. And it looks like Mercedes and McLaren are tied on 38 points, so the Constructors' Championship is neck and neck. And Red Bull are also in 3rd place, so they're starting to get a couple of points. And Sauber in a very impressive 4th place, along with Lotus also in 5th, and Williams is 6th. So that top 6 is really close at the minute, maybe even top 7 if you include Force India. And then Ferrari are way down in 8th, so they really need to try and find some sort of points. But nevertheless, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I've completely lost my voice because I'm not feeling too at the moment, as I said it in the video a little while ago, in a couple of videos ago. But hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then please do smash the like button down below. It shows me that you're loving the series so far, and I'm really pushing for 2,000 subscribers by the end of next month when it's my birthday. So hopefully you guys can make that happen if you're new around here. But yeah, guys, this is going to be it for me for the video. If you enjoyed it, then please do leave a like down below. If you're new around here, then please do subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Tom97HD. If you want a partnership with Freedom, there's a link down below in the description. That's about it from me, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. So I've been Tom97HD, and I'm out.